Processed foods, what are they? There are four classifications of processed foods: unprocessed or minimally processed foods, processed culinary ingredients, processed, and ultra-processed foods. Unprocessed or minimally processed foods are foods that which did not undergo processing or underwent minimally processing, such as fractioning, grinding, pasteurization. These include legumes, vegetables, fruits, starchy roots and tubers, grains, nuts, beef, eggs, chicken, and milk. Processed culinary ingredients are obtained from minimally processed foods and used to season, cook, and create culinary dishes. These include salt, sugar, vegetable oils, butter, and other fats. Processed foods combine an unprocessed or minimally processed food item to a processed ingredient. We will expound on that later. These include canned vegetables or meat in a salt solution, fruits in syrup, bread, cheeses, purees, or pastes. Ultra-processed foods are food products derived from foods or parts of foods. Some call them Frankenstein foods, which our pantries and supermarkets are packed with. These have added cosmetic food additives and include breast milk substitutes, infant formulas, cookies, ice cream, and candy, ready-to-eat meals, soft drinks, potato chips, hamburgers, and chicken nuggets. Today, as I mentioned earlier, our grocery stores are overflowing with what some experts call Frankenstein foods. These are products that are not grown on farms, but engineered in laboratories, where natural ingredients are broken down into their smallest components, reassembled, heavily processed, and packaged for mass consumption. I'm referring to ultra-processed foods, a category created by food technologists using additives that would never appear in a home kitchen. These foods are often packed with added sugars, unhealthy fats, and excessive amounts of salt. But the problem goes beyond just the ingredients. It's the processing and the combination of additives that make these products so problematic. Designed to be energy dense, convenient, and highly palatable, they're engineered for overconsumption. For example, just recently, the FDA banned red dye number 3 in food, beverages, and drugs, an additive that scientists warned over 30 years ago could cause cancer. This highlights how long potentially harmful substances can linger in the food supply before action is taken. Ultra processed foods dominate shelves due to their long shelf life and low cost. However, they often lack essential dietary fiber and the textures that encourage slower, mindful eating. This makes it easy to eat too much, too quickly, contributing to poor health outcomes over time. The actual processing of the food could also make a difference to how our bodies respond to it. Studies have shown, for example, that when foods such as nuts are eaten whole, the body absorbs less of the fat than when the nut is ground down and the oils are released. Your stomach plays a key role. Whole foods take longer to digest, promoting fullness and steady energy. Yet processed foods are broken down quickly, leading to rapid absorption and potential overeating. The key takeaway is that eating foods in their whole natural form supports better digestion and nutrient absorption. The fewer ingredients, the more natural the product, for the most part. A whole food is rich in nutrients, vitamins, and minerals, contains disease preventive properties like antioxidants, has nutrients that aid in functions of organs, and is lower in calories, is in high volume food. Processed foods are low in nutrients, vitamins, and minerals, high in sodium and sugar, high in additives and preservatives, and makes you feel less full compared to whole foods. Different types of bread undergo more processing than others. Buy whole grain bread with unbleached wheat flour. Bread is considered whole grain when it contains all three grain types: bran, germ, and endosperm, whereas cooking or grilling is considered minimally processing. Fruits and vegetables that have been sliced, pureed, or prepared without added ingredients are considered minimally processed foods. Frozen vegetables like this frozen broccoli florets are considered minimally processed because it is frozen in the peak of its freshness, but this frozen Asian medley package is considered ultra processed because it has added both seasoning and natural flavors. Natural flavors may sound healthier, but they often contain synthetic chemicals similar to artificial flavors. For instance, McDonald's natural beef flavor comes from wheat and milk derivatives. Always read labels carefully and minimize processed foods. The bottom line: natural and artificial flavors really aren't that different. And those natural flavors can actually contain synthetic chemicals. You're right to be skeptical of the word natural. It's often thrown around loosely. I avoid both synthetic and natural flavors when I can by minimizing my consumption of processed foods. It is actually simple math. If you combine processed food number one with processed food number two, you have just created processed food number three. Processed foods made by combining foods from groups one and two. Many foods are packaged at their peak to lock in nutritional quality. That is called minimally processed. After being cleaned, peeled, chopped, and trimmed as necessary, foods are cooked in the can to lock in nutrients and flavor, minimally processed. The grocery store freezer aisle now offers many plant based options. To mimic the look and taste of meat, manufacturers often add fillers like wheat gluten, excessive salt, artificial colors, and additives. Heavily processed plant based meats can be just as unhealthy as their animal based counterparts. Not all plant based options are bad. Look for minimally processed alternatives like lentil patties and whole veggie based options. There are more options than ever in the grocery store freezer aisle called plant based. Choose plant based foods that are closer to their natural state for better health. Thank you for watching. Remember, the closer your food is to its natural source, like the garden or chicken coop, the closer you are to health and vitality. Keep your weight within the healthy range and avoid weight gain in adult life. 2. Be physically active as part of everyday life. Walk more and sit less. 3. Make whole grain, vegetables, fruit, and beans a major part of your usual diet. 4. Limit the consumption of fast foods and ultra processed foods, high in fats and sugars. 5. Avoid red and processed meats. 6. Limit sugar sweetened drinks and drink mostly water and unsweetened drinks. 7. Do not drink alcoholic drinks. 8. aim to meet nutritional needs through diet alone, not supplements, not prescriptions. Exceptions, those who cannot absorb vitamin B12, iron deficiencies, folic acid for pregnant women, and vitamin D deficiencies, which may vary between peoples. 8. Breastfeeding good for both mother and baby. 9. Do not smoke. 10. Limit sun exposure if low melanin. And pray. For it is God which worketh in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure. Do all things without murmurings and disputings, that ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons and daughters of God, without rebuke, in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom ye shine as lights in the world. Philippians 2 verses 13 to 15.